Hi, so we will be continuing our discussion of process costing in a multi-department setting, this time using first in first out method. So we will again use a problem from the Cost Accounting Principles book of Rayburn and Kenny. Okay, so to illustrate, FIFO process costing in two departments, we will use this problem. Okay, so Safe and Sound, which uses FIFO process costing, makes a backyard fencing system for pet owners in a two-stage production system. In the cutting department, wood is cut and assembled into 6-foot fence sections. In the coating department, the sections are pressure treated to resist the effects of weather and then coated with a preservative. The following production and cost data are available for March 2010. Units are 6-foot fence sections. Okay, so we have the unit information for the two departments, cutting and coating. And then we also have the cost for the cutting and the coating department. So I have to apologize kasi medyo pangit yung pagkaka-picture ko dun sa problem. But it's usable naman. So uh, let's proceed, no? So, of course, we'll start with the first department, which is the cutting department. So, just like what we did earlier, so by now, dapat nasasanay na kayo sa mga steps na to. The first thing we do is to compute for the total units to be accounted for, which is the sum of the units in the beginning inventory as well as the units started. Okay? So, for the cutting department, the number of units in the beginning inventory is equal to 1,300 and the units started for the month of March is equal to 4,800. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yan. 4,800 units. So the total units to be accounted for is equal to 6,100 units. Okay? So since we are using FIFO, syempre, we will categorize the total units to be accounted for into three. First is the beginning inventory units. Next are the units started and completed. Units started and completed. And lastly, are the ending inventory units. Okay? So, you should have known this by now, no, na under FIFO kasi, we are very particular about the beginning inventory units, no. So, we are very specific. We really analyze the work done on the beginning inventory for the current month, 'di ba? We do not just assume na 100% na din siya kasi nga completed na rin. Okay? So, sige, for the units to be accounted for naman, syempre, for the actual units, of course, we all know na the total units to be accounted for are either completed or left in the ending inventory. So, sige, let's do this, no? Let us account for the units, actual units first, no? So, our total units to be accounted for is 6,100. And based on the problem, we still have 1,100 units left in our ending inventory. Okay? And then, for our beginning inventory, of course, 1,300 yan. So, to compute for the number of units started and completed, we will deduct the ending inventory as well as the beginning inventory units from the total units to be accounted for and we'll get 3,700. So, syempre, the first assumption in FIFO is that the units left in the ending inventory last month were the ones we finished first at the start of the following month. So, we assume that a total of 5,000 units were completed for the month of March. Okay? So, let us now compute for the EUP. Diba? So, we have two cost component for the EUP. Materials and conversion. Okay? And conversion. So, this is a new scenario for us, no? Kasi we are used to uh, we are used to problems na all the materials are added immediately at the start, or the materials are added at the end. But in this problem, as you can see, 'di ba? The percentage of completion as to material is given in the cutting department. So as mentioned here, the beginning inventory is 80% complete as to materials daw. So if it is 80% complete as to materials, this 80% was done last month, and we only need to add 20% of the materials para matapos yung beginning inventory units natin this month. So what we're going to do is we'll multiply 1,300 actual units by 0.2 or 20%. So we'll get 260. Okay? And then, as far as conversion naman, it is the beginning inventory is already 75% complete as to conversion. So, we only need to add 25% of conversion to finish the beginning inventory units. So, we have, what we do here is we'll multiply the actual units, 1,300, by the remaining percentage that needs to be done, which is equal to 25%, and we'll get 325. Okay, so now we go to the units started and completed. So if in the weighted average, we do not think about the completed units anymore, diba? The work done is automatically 100%. In FIFO, yung units started and completed, the work done for these units is automatically 100% as well. Kasi nga, these units are started and also completed for this month. So everything was added for in the month of March. So we have 3,700 for both. Now, for the ending inventory, so ito, medyo maano siya, no? Medyo biglang lumaki. Anyway, sige. As far as our ending inventory is concerned, we have the ending inventory is 40% complete as to materials. So this 40% was added this month. So we will multiply the actual units of 1,100 by 0.4. Okay, and as to conversion, it is already 20% complete. So 1,100 times 0.2, and we have we have 220. So our EUP for materials and conversion is equal to 4,400 and 4,245 respectively. So again, this is a relatively new problem for us kasi again, we are used to problems or production processes which add the materials at the start, everything at the start of the process, or everything at the end. But this time, diba, the percentage of completion as to materials is already given. So you have to follow. Okay? Sige. Now, since we have already computed for the EUP, the next step is to compute for our cost per EUP. So, since this is FIFO, diba, and we are very particular, meaning we only include the work done this month in our EUP computation, of course, our cost per EUP computation will be slightly different. Kasi we will only include yung cost natin, cost this month, and we will divide our cost this month for materials and conversion by the EUP we have computed. So, we do not include yung cost last month, of course. Kasi nga, again, we are very specific, we are very particular that we only include the work done this month for our EUP computation. Okay? So, now, we'll get our cost this month, diba? Cost this month for materials and conversion. Okay? So we have materials and conversion. This is for department 1 muna. Okay? So for materials, our cost this month for materials is equal to 35,200. Okay, and then for conversion, we have 21,225. Okay, so wait. Oops. Yun. So, as you can see, there is a question mark here, no, from the in the transferred in cost of the cutting department. So, the transferred in cost in the cutting department is 0 since this is the first department. Since this is only the first department, okay? And then also we'll get the EUP, no, for materials and conversion. So so we have 4,400 and 4,245. So yung cost per EUP natin is equal to 8 for materials, and for conversion we have 5. Okay? So we will use this in assigning the cost, no? In assigning cost. So to compute for, syempre then, so okay na tayo dyan. The next step is to compute for the total cost to be accounted for. Okay? Total cost to be accounted for. So, we all know that the total cost to be accounted for is simply the sum of the prior months and the current month's cost. But since we have only included the cost this month in our cost per EUP computation, o di I have to compute for the total cost last month, no? So, yung cost natin last month, we have 8,345 plus 7,720 will get 16,065. So the total cost to be accounted for is equal to 72,490. 72,490. Okay? Sige. So, go back to our EUP computation. So, we have classified the units into 3, into beginning, started, completed, and ending inventory units. So, we will be assigning cost to each of the 3 classifications one by one. So, we start with the completed beginning inventory units. Okay? So, for the completed beginning inventory units, syempre, since we are under FIFO, all the cost we have, all the cost last month will be assigned to the beginning inventory units only. Kasi basically, 'di ba, the cost last month or the cost of the beginning inventory kasi was the cost that the company has incurred in manufacturing these units last month. So, we will be assigning the cost last month to the beginning inventory units only. Okay? And then next, of course, we have to include the materials cost. Okay? So, materials cost. So, our EUP for materials, as far as the beginning inventory units is concerned, is 260. And then, we will be multiplying this by our cost per EUP, which we have computed as at 8 pesos earlier, no? So, get the product of the two. So, we multiply 260 by 8 and we'll get 2,080. So, transfer lang natin siya dito. Okay? And then this one, lipat ko rin dito. Yan. And then, syempre, lastly, we have our conversion cost. So, for conversion cost, the EUP for conversion for the beginning inventory units is 325 and 5 yung cost per EUP natin. So, multiply 325 by 5 and we'll get 1,625. So, get the sum of the three. We have 19,770 pesos. This is the cost of the completed beginning inventory units. Okay? So, again, note that the cost last month is not included in the cost per EUP computation, but instead, it is assigned specifically to the beginning inventory units, which is, I think, only proper kasi talaga nga namang this cost or yung the cost last month was the cost that we spent in manufacturing the beginning inventory in the previous month. Sorry, the beginning inventory that was the ending inventory last month. Okay? Next, we have the unit started and completed. Okay? So, lalagyan yan. Started and completed. So, for the unit started and completed, of course, wala siyang cost last month. Siyempre, these units were just started and also completed this month. So, yung wala siya, ang gagawin natin, we start with materials immediately, no? So, we have EUP, 3,700 multiplied by the cost per EUP for materials. So, 37 times 8 will get 29,600. And for conversion naman, we have 37 multiplied by 5. Okay? So, we get the product and we have 18,500. Oops, sorry. So, the cost of the units, sorry. Yan. So, the cost of the unit started and completed is equal to 41,800. Okay? Of course, we're not yet done kasi we also have to assign cost to our ending inventory units. Okay? So, just like the unit started and completed, walang cost last month sa ending inventory. Okay? So, we start with the materials. 440 is the EUP for materials multiplied by 8 and we'll get 3,520. And then for conversion, we have an EUP of 220 multiplied by 5. We have a total of 1,100. So the cost of our ending inventory in the cutting department is equal to 4,620. So let us check kung na-account for natin lahat ng units natin. So yan, pantay naman siya. 72,490. So now, if we have read the question kasi, for letter D, ang gusto niya is we have to determine the cost per EUP in the coating department using the modified FIFO basis. So, what we'll do here is that, syempre, 'di ba? The beginning inventory and the unit started and completed are both completed units, 'di ba? Actually, hindi nga siya completed kasi it will be transferred to the next department. So basically, transferred out natin 'yan. So kung ganun, 'di ba? Syempre, we have to compute for the transferred out cost. Diba? Cost of the transferred out units. So, the cost of the transferred out units is the sum of the completed beginning inventory plus the sum of the units started and completed. Okay? So, we'll get 67,870. So, 67,870 will be the transferred in cost for the current month in the next department, which is the coating department. Okay? Sige. So, cost per EUP. So, let us answer the questions, no? So, for letter A, we have already prepared the EUP schedule for the cutting department and we'll be preparing the EUP schedule for the coating department later on. For letter B, we have to determine the cost per EUP for cutting department. So we have already done that. 8 for materials and then we have 5 for conversion. Okay? And then we also have to assign cost to goods transferred out of and in ending work in process inventory in the cutting department. So, the ending work in process inventory has a cost of 4,620, whereas the transferred out units has a cost of 67,870. So,